Okay, this is Say What. We're bringing Max on because in the beginning of the show, he had two people that he wanted Dolly to talk to, and Dolly got to talk to Alex, but not his girlfriend or his love of his life. And so we just said, well, you know, you're welcome to come on our show if the people are still available. So we're hoping that that's going to come off. This is Say What. We're on Wolf Spirit Radio and Haggy Shack. Haggy Shack is the production company that's doing this and then simulcasting through Wolf Spirit. We would appreciate any kind of donations to either haggyshack.com or wolfspirit.com. And you can also become a member of Wolf Spirit and have access to all of the archives that are go back many, many years. You can also, on a weekly basis, download or just listen to any of the shows that you might have missed by going to the current archives, under archives. And you can download, like I say, for a week. And then they go into the main archives, and then you have to pay for them. So, but we definitely appreciate all the donations and all of the support that we get from our listeners. And I see that Max is up. Max, you there? Yes?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, I'm Nancy Hopkins. We've never even met, although I gotta tell you, I do enjoy your shows. I haven't heard your show because it conflicts with something else I do, but Dolly and you together, it's very enlightening. And like I say, you seem to have, some guests that you would like to bring on, and Colleen and I, we just really kind of, wing it on, this show. We just try to see if there's something more that we can, do for the people that spend the time with us, educating our listeners to all kinds of concepts. Yeah, we don't limit ourselves to what we can talk about. So hi there.
Hi.
Is it me that's dinging or somebody else?
Nah, that was me. I don't know what happens every time I touch a keyboard. Something here, it does happen.
Okay, what it is the chat room. You have Wolf Spirit's chat room up?
Let me see if it's up. Yeah, let me just remove it.
Well, you don't have to remove it. There's a speaker at the bottom of the chat room. And if you click on that, it puts a little X on it, so it mutes the sounds that whenever anyone types something in there, it'll pop.
Yeah.
So if you click on that, so there's an X, it'll turn that off.
Well, I already removed it, so.
All right.
It's okay.
Now I'll be quiet and go ahead.
Oh, is Alex there? Would he like to come back on? In the love of your life, I would certainly love to meet her. Is she available still, Max?
She is. She's very shy. and, she's very shy. Let me, hold on a second. She just sent me information here. She said she's very shy. She prefer not to come on. If that's okay.
That's fine. That's fine. And Alex, would he like to come back in?
Sure. Yeah, he's right here next to me.
I'm shy too.
He's shy too. You weren't shy a little while ago.
Go ahead, ask me.
Yeah, he's willing to come back or whatever you want to. If you want him to come now, it's fine. You can
bring him in. Like I say, we just we wing it here. How did you two meet? What's your relationship?
Come here, Alex. Why don't you just sit here while you were sitting before?
Okay, just give me a second.
He just pointed an energy to my dog. My dog sometimes.
Did you hear?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you just mentioned your dog, and let's go back a minute because when you started to do an etheric double of yourself to be able to demonstrate that you are an etheric being, I have a watcher dog here. A watcher dog is a sentient being that is part of a group of sentient being animals. They normally take an animal form that were created by the super consciousness of this biosphere that we call Gaia. And Gaia, when she decided to take the next leap in consciousness, by creating human beings, knew that there was a chance that the human beings could, in fact, get to a point where they denied her existence. And by denying her existence, it would jeopardize not only Gaia's existence, but the existence of everything she had ever created, because we know that time doesn't exist and that reality is what you think it is. So when you have that kind of a situation of immense change, she was no fool, and she set into play the Watchers. And the Watchers are there as our animals, as our pets, as our companions, in order to keep our heart energies flowing, because it's only through the heart that we keep Gaia alive. So no matter how much programming they put on us, the Watchers were there for many of us over eons to keep our hearts going, to keep humanity's heart open. So I have one here. His name is Shiloh. And just as you started up the etheric doubling, I also have a very good friend of mine here who was enjoying the show. And the dog suddenly, I'm concentrated, everybody's quiet, we're all listening to the show, and all of a sudden, you start up and the dog gets crazy in front of me. He's like looking at me, staring at me, and he starts to basically go into trying to distract me. And I was really trying to be open and bring you into my environment. But this Watcher dog was like, there's energy coming in here, I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to let you get involved with it. And he was really pretty obnoxious, but what I was realizing what was happening, and I was still trying to get beyond him. Because I thought, this is safe, it's safe, baby, just no, but he doesn't know what this energy is, and so he's going into defense mechanism. And then my friend jumps up and decides she has to go home, and so now she's a complete distraction. And it was like, well, I guess I'm not supposed to see the etheric double of Max. So, I didn't actually experience seeing you here, but I think you must have been being picked up by the Watcher and by my friend who didn't know why she was leaving, I'm sure. Because she left her food in the refrigerator, and she normally would remember that. So I just, when you said the dog, it made me think of that, and I did want to remember to tell you that. So, Alex, you're there now, and you're comfortable?
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay. When he was doing the etheric, did you see any changes in your own environment?
I feel the changes in my environment. As I don't really see things, but I greatly feel things.
And have you done this since you were a child?
Probably. I got into energy, metaphysical stuff. Probably maybe in 2001. So,
okay.
So that's like about, I don't know how many years ago, 14, 15.
Yeah, there was a definite change at the millennium in the energies. There was a more awakening.
Right.
I'm like in my late 60s, I'm going to be 68, and so I've been around for a long time watching all this stuff. And God bless the internet, because it pulled so many of us together who now can compare notes. And it's the comparing of notes where we take the next leap in consciousness and understanding. So, it's interesting. I always try to find out where were you and what were you doing when suddenly you realized that reality is not what you think it is. And you say it happened to you about 2001.
Yeah, in 2001, basically I got sick, and the doctor, I went to doctors and they couldn't figure out what was happening, so I had to think out of the box and go to a spiritual person or like a psychic type of person, and I was like basically having a problem with my like my head, like in the center of my head, where I would feel like pressure and I would get like really toxic, and it was at the time I was working at an architect firm and I had to be there every day, and so so the sickness started to affect my attendance at work, and so basically my job was in jeopardy because I missed like 5 days worth of work and I had to be there. I was doing like IT, like information technology stuff, and so when I sought out a spiritual medium, they told me that the toxins were was an energy blockage, and that I had to have that blockage removed. And at that time, I didn't know anything about this, and she basically told me that's what is causing the problems. And so me not knowing anything else about energy, I trusted her because she could tell me things about me that I didn't know of. And from that point on, my symptoms in my head, that the tox, I didn't have to throw up anymore because the toxins eventually went away after the energy was removed. So that was my first experience with energy relating to sickness.
Well, so, let me tell you what was happening in that same time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
2001.
Yeah. Now, did you just think back there before you got sick?
Right.
Were you a pretty together person, and you really felt optimistic that everything in life was really going to turn out okay?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. All right. Now, what happened in that time frame, based on my experience? We were in a timeline where we were definitely in an enlightenment state of being, and we were going to essentially make a leap in consciousness with no big, problems whatsoever. I could go through it. I've written a book, Cosmic Reality, and in it I described the 1990s, the 90s, because it was a magical time. There was magic, there was psychic stuff happening all over the place. It was just a marvelous place to be. Well, some of us were, I think that the vast majority of entities being complex beings, because we're not just human beings, we are complex beings. But many of us were asked, are you willing to do a timeline jump? And I know that it was presented to me by my guides in a very concrete way. There's a timeline that is really effed up, and if we don't fix it, it's going to have repercussions throughout the universe. And are you willing to jump off a timeline where you're absolutely guaranteed that you will ascend or enlighten, whatever that magical thing that we're supposed to be doing? Or you can do that, or you can jump timelines and try to fix this one. And my question was, will I fail? And they said no. And I said, okay, that's good. And I said, can we save everyone? And they said yes. And because of those two criteria, I said, okay, let's go. And it happened at the same time that you went through this sickness and this awakening. And I believe that it's very possible, I'm not saying it happened to you, but I think a lot of truly light workers were, already, like, it's almost like, well, you're on retreat, you're there waiting for your mission to come along, and in the meantime, they're showing you, this is what it could be so lovely, and no drama, and, and then suddenly you got the mission to go into a very squirrely place, and to do some very squirrely things. So, does that sound, do you resonate with that kind of information?
I do resonate to some of it, but I do believe that for a person to ascend, they have to descend. They have to feel, they would have to go through some type of suffering or some challenge that they would actually have to be on the dark side and experience that. And if they don't want that, you have to seek out something that where they need just to break out of their own normal thought process and explore what would help them get better. I mean, if you're always you need both polarities, the negative and positive, to swing from one side and experience that side. If you don't like that side, you know that you're gonna swing to the other side. You just need that polarity shifts all the time, so you could raise your vibration by going from one negative to the positive, and then you get stronger as you understand what's bad and what's good. You grow out of those stages. I don't know how to explain it that well. I just it's an experience that has to be done by the person. You can't really read about it in a book, so you really need to experience life, because, life doesn't come with a manual. You have to do things, you just have to be in tune with yourself and have that openness and follow your gut feeling. Or else, sometimes people give up and they go to doctors and they let them take over, and then, they just pass out on their medical table. But I'm a person that likes to search for the truth. I like to find out what gets a person healthy, and I like to search for different modalities that no one has thought of. And I'm sorry, I probably strayed from your question.
Yes, you did, but that's okay. No, because I happen to agree with you, because when it all was happening, the 99, 200, 2001, all that time frame in there, and since then, I felt like, no, I was given a decision to take on this task. As I became, let's say, much more understanding of what we were really dealing with, I decided that probably we had been, I don't play those video games, but I understand that every time you kind of win the game, then they make the game harder. They up it, so you're at a new level, and you're playing with different pieces and different, rules and regulations. And I kind of think that that's what happened, is that we were, said, okay, you won. You actually won, but you're not going to go out and continue this timeline, because we want you to go and find out, what is it like when you really have to fight for it, And so it's like games. It's game playing. And so all of a sudden you're in this totally new reality. And then to get to the next stage of enlightenment requires you to totally understand that reality. And a lot of the, let's say the higher science, in quotes, of what it takes to actually learn to manipulate the reality. Because when what's her name? Dolores Cannon. When Dolores Cannon asked the guides, well, what is humanity here for? The answer was to learn how to manipulate energy. And the only way you can learn how to manipulate energy is to essentially understand magic, because magic is the manipulation of energy. And that's what I believe that I've been taught on this particular timeline, that I never had on the other one. And I do believe that we are still ascending, but that it is a much more, it's much more complex on this reality than it was on the other one.
Well,
so I agree with you that, there is this yin and this yang, this, good and this bad, but it's just to educate us, to show us, to demonstrate through experience.
Right. I see what you're saying. But when you manipulate energy, you say you use magic, right?
Magic is defined as the manipulation of energy. People, when you're working with energies, you're doing things that appear to be magical by the people that don't understand you're manipulating energies. And once you can believe in magic, then you can believe in the fact that you're manipulating energies. It's a two-blade sword. And, where we started getting involved in it was when we were being given devices, in order to demonstrate energy, to understand the flow of it.
Well, for me, actually, I used to believe in energy, but now I know of energy, so I don't really believe in it, because I know you would actually feel it in real time changing. And there was an experiment. I worked at a holistic center in Naples, Florida, where we actually had a symbol drawn on a piece of paper, and we got a cup of water, and we put the glass of water on the symbol, the drawing, because the drawing emanates energy. And so what we did was, before we drank the water, we actually made it like a little, we used something to extract blood out of the fingertips, and then we put that underneath a microscope, and then we saw how the blood was coagulated, was sticking to each other, the blood cells. And then after that, I drank the water, and then after maybe 6 or 7 minutes later, we wait for the energy to saturate in the body, and then we pick the blood out of the fingertip again, and we investigated the water underneath the microscope, and the blood was moving. The molecules were going so fast, and they were not sticking to each other, and so like the energy works. You don't have to believe in it. Sometimes it just works. It's like a cup in front of you. When you see a glass of cup in front of you, you don't have to believe it. It's in front of you. That's how it is for me, because when you feel energy, you know it's working. You don't have to believe anymore because you could feel it. That's my perception of energy, actually. But
what I was saying was that you have to believe in the magic.
Well,
you have to open up your imagination to allow the energies to demonstrate themselves, to show how you can have magical situations that seem like magic. I recommend that you take a look, if you can, whether you get it at the library or whatever, a book called Vibrational Medicine, and it's by Dr. Gerber. And it's a textbook. It's actually a textbook. He's a medical MD. And years ago in the 80s, I think he wrote the first edition of it. I think it's up to the 4th edition already. And what it does is it's from a doctor's and a scientist's perspective. He looked at the whole concept of what he calls vibrational medicine. Now, I tend to like the term enerology, which is the study of energy. But he uses vibrational medicine because he was specifically initially looking at the various ways in which energy, just total energy, was shown to be healing. And then he went way beyond that and went into the scientific and the technical reasons why this would work. And it's absolutely a fascinating book that, like I say, I highly, because of you seem to be interested in this, to be able to get some of the ideas of what is already known out there. I mean, they say, well, the placebo effect, and they want to push it off. Well, why would you push off something that has a greater percentage of healing, a successful healing, than the pills you're trying to push? And he's one of those people that looked at the healing aspects of it. So it's Vibrational Medicine by Gerber. And I really think that you would find it very intriguing to see how far the science has actually taken all this. It's not just metaphysics. This is the change that has occurred in the last 20 years. It's not just metaphysics talking anymore. The quantum physicists are telling us the same things that we as metaphysicians have been saying, and for thousands of years metaphysicians have been saying it. Now the quantum physicists are saying, well, it's and it's the same thing. So the science itself has begun to be absolutely accepted on many levels. Anything else you want to add to, take us down?
Not that I could think of off the bat on top of my head, but
Tell them about the symbols you make that heal.
Oh yeah, actually, I do make symbols for healing, and actually on my YouTube channel, people have commented on the symbols that I have done, because I draw symbols, and I also combine a frequency tone, like a frequency hertz, with a symbol to complement both energies. And then when you have sound and symbols combining together to form another energy, it gets more powerful. And I've demonstrated on my YouTube channel. You get comments on YouTube, lots of comments, and people express what they feel when they saw the symbols, and those are one of the things that I like doing is the symbols, because you're going deep into the energy body to help extract lower vibrations or lower vibrations and blockages out of the body to clear your energetic pipes. Like it's like cleaning the plumbing out of your energy system, so that you could have a better experience on life and feel things a bit more. Most of the people here on this planet really have really bad energies, because they don't really take care of their blockages. It's something that is essential in my perceptions, that they need to get rid of. They need to become aware of energy so that they could ascend, feel things better, open up more senses in their body, and have a better perception on realities as they clear themselves. Because a whole lot of these people, they carry cell phones in their pockets and they have it on. They're being they have so much radiation going into their bodies, and they're not aware of that. They're just soaking all that bad energy in. They just really need to really take care of themselves and do better at taking care of their vibration. But I don't know how people would evolve without taking care of themselves. But
well, let's bring Max in if he can come in here for a minute. Because
yeah, he's on the way. He just needs to do something really quick.
Okay, all right. Then this is what we're going to talk about when he gets here. Is that the electromagnetic and the Wi-Fi systems that are around us?
Right.
They're all rotating counterclockwise. Everything that's biologically positive and healthy on the planet rotates clockwise. So we're continually being bombarded by energy fields that are attacking our clockwise energy rotating fields by this terrible counterclockwise stuff. So your own energy field is continually being attacked. You can't get balanced because you've got electromagnetic and Wi-Fi all over you. All right? Now, when Dolly talks about our God, she is really referring to what I call the source God. And the source God is responsible for everything. But on this planet, we have you cannot have manifestation without consciousness. And the creator consciousness of this planet, we call Gaia. When I understood this relationship of Gaia to everything else, within months, she got me shungite. And shungite is a mineral that is found in Russia in 1,000 kilometers, in some places 400 feet deep, that appears to be, in my opinion, is a strike from outside of the planet itself that carried the fundamental energy and therefore DNA of life on the planet. She got to a point where she says, I want some life, and so, whiz, you pull this in and you can create life. That shungite will take any field of electromagnetic energy. And because it is based on a molecule that is a very large molecule that's called a fullerene, that if you understand the concepts of geometry, it's like a Genesis crystal on steroids. And a Genesis crystal is considered a Genesis crystal, a beginning of life crystal, because it has a 0 point inside of it. And that 0 point is something that is abhorred by the universe. They always want to put something in it. So every time you get a 0 point within a geometric figure, and the energy follows the geometry, you get a quantum connection. And within the fullerene, you've got basically 60 of these 0 points. So it is a huge connection to the quantum field. So its clockwise rotation is so powerful that any electromagnetic or Wi-Fi radio frequency, any of that stuff hits it, and is rotating counterclockwise, it instantaneously reverses field and runs clockwise. Now, there's no difference in its purpose or its function or its strength. It's simply been put into a biocompatible field now. We've been playing with the shungite now since early May of 2014, and we have sold thousands and thousands of products to people all over the world and are having just an amazing response by what is happening to their own life. The first thing they'll tell you is they sleep better because all of a sudden their bodies are no longer fighting off, the energy bodies are no longer fighting off this field that's trying to destroy them because that field is now biocompatible. And so they are able to naturally make the melatonin that puts them into a state of sleep. because one of the things that has been directly attributed now, because now they're releasing the information that says that, well, if you've got an electromagnetic sensitive person, one of the things that's going to happen is their melatonin is going to go zap. So when you're dealing with this kind of, it's almost like, I say that Gaia gave us the shungite in order to level the playing field. Because all of a sudden, your energy field is now in a biocompatible field. It's rotating correctly. You're feeling, you still got some 3D problems. Because that's another energy field. But as far as shungite goes, it works on all of your higher energy fields at the chakra level in particular to balance, just to give you a balance so that now you can go to great health because you're not fighting at the energy level. The amount that we understand now of the energy universe is pretty extensive for us. I'm not saying we know anywhere near what others know, but there has been a great opening in the understanding that it is an energy universe, and that each and every one of us is a specific combination of frequencies that are unique to everything, because it's also based on the positioning you are in the universe, in existence.
What's Max's knowledge of all this?
That's what I'm waiting for Max to come back in. Is he there yet?
Max is right here.
Okay, excellent, because I was just trying to talk while you got back, and I forgot that I was waiting on you, and thank you, Colleen. So what do you think, Max?
Everything you say is correct, and it's the way it's supposed to be. I do want to add something. There are certain selected beings here on the earth that have been pre-selected already to evolve even faster than some of the other Earth humans on Earth. There's going to be a change on the planet Earth with these pre-selected Earth humans. It could be even you, it could be many of us. Not me, but other beings. There's going to be this grid of energy that's going to be put over the whole earth. It's going to come from the north and fill the shape of the earth, and it will go. It looks like a clear laminated energy that's going to cover the earth. And the certain individual that's been pre-selected, those are the people that are going to disappear, and they'll be taken up into a very high consciousness craft, and these people are going to disappear and leave us. They could be family members or brothers or sisters. It could be many things, but it's an energy that's going to hit us and will disappear. A lot of people have asked me about that before. And
that sounds like the rapture. Are you talking about
that's exactly what I was getting into. It sounds like the rapture because they say the clothes are going to stay and their spirit and soul and body will leave. Well, it's going to be like that. Exactly like that. But it's not the resurrection that people are waiting for. It's not like that at all.
Well, with all humility, what I think is happening is that there's two realities now. There's the old reality and there's the new reality. And that all of the animals who are going extinct are being actually sent to the new reality. They're fine. They're all alive and well, but they're on a different, let's call it a timeline. It's basically a reality change. And we've got all of these entities that have been working for this with the old reality. Now, some of us decided that you can't change that reality. It's going to take us forever to change that reality. So if reality is what we think it is, then let's just take this piece of place and space and call it our reality and fill it with the energies that we want to see. And those energies include the pink rose for protection, peace, anti-terrorism, empathy, compassion, love, trust, lack of fear. I mean, there's dozens and dozens of these frequencies that we put in because we were given by Gaia a series of devices in which to basically anchor those frequencies into a new reality. This is the first time it's ever been done with such knowledge and with such absolute, this is what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Now, we're making it up as we go because reality is what we think it is, but we believe that we can create a new reality. So when I hear people talking about the rapture, I say to myself, these are simply, I believe that there is enough energy into that reality that there has got to be a 3D story to explain it. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The thought came first. It was the egg, the chicken that appeared, and then they have to create a 3D story, so the 3D story is that it came out of an egg. But when you have this kind of thing where you're building this new reality, the rapture, to me, means that certain people who now have their own they're stuck still in the old reality, but we've got this new reality, and this new reality is vibrating in a different vibration, different frequency than what the old one is. And so what happens is that individual people get to a point where they are resonating with the new reality, not the old reality, and at the point of time where this is all going to balance out, they're just going to slip into the new reality and not be seen in the old reality. That's where they're going. That's what the rapture, in my opinion, is all about. So I'm just throwing that out, Max. How do you resonate with that?
No, I do agree with exactly what you just said. I would have rephrased it that same way. It will happen when the time is right. But some of us are a little bit more advanced than others in our consciousness. So we're the ones that we could either be left behind a little bit more to be able to bring other people into a higher consciousness as we learn ourselves, because not everyone can understand what we do and what we preach or what we learn, because we are both not just teachers, we're also students at the same time.
Absolutely.
And the reality that okay, let me give you an example here. Okay. I'm very highly aware of what's going on everywhere. But I do see that this whole planet it's a program. It's a program it's in the air, it's in the air we breathe, and in the water we drink. There's a program there. We have to be able to realize that the program, I analyze the programs that are being programmed for us to see. I first look at it, and then I analyze the program. And sometimes I don't see why that program is being put out there for the people to digest it or program in their mind. Sometimes I don't see why this program is being put out there. And the program that's being put out there are very highly advanced entities that use the people of Earth as guinea pigs for other civilizations to learn. That's why they send a lot of entities here from different galaxies to come to Earth to learn. It's a planet of learning and teaching. It's about many things. You just got to be able to analyze the program that's being installed all around us. I believe that once you learn how the program is being input in this earth, then we have the abilities now to remove these programs and create our own reality that we have in front of us. I see a lot of this thing happening. For example, I've had experiences here in my home where a window will appear in my living room, and the window will be like 5 foot by maybe 6 foot and a square, and I will see people at the other side. I see women always walking in front of that window, and sometimes the window stays open anywhere from 10 seconds, 20 seconds. The last time it stayed open 25 seconds. And I was telling Alex yesterday that, not Alex, I was telling Zelok, my companion from my planet, he said that next time that window opens up, I'm going to jump and grab that woman and pull her into this dimension. And she was laughing about that. And the other is that one day it was probably about 6 p.m. in the afternoon. It was still daylight. And my dog wanted to go outside to do her thing. And I opened the door. And when I looked outside, I have a maple tree in front of my house and the driveway in between the house and the tree. And that wasn't there. My car wasn't even there. It was another dimension. And it was different. It was beautiful. And I looked over to the right side of my house, and I have an apple tree that's falling, and it's not there. And look in both directions, and nothing's there. It was another dimension. My dog looked at me, and she said, it's like saying, I'm not going out there. So she went back inside the house. I went inside. And as soon as I shut the door, I looked back. It was gone. It was another dimension that was trying to appear. And I think if we had stepped out, we probably would have been lost in it. So, like I say, there's a lot of different realities and a lot of different programs, because it feels like that we are inside of a computer and a program is being put there for us to see. And that's what I feel, that this planet is similar to that. I've actually been walking in, for example, in downtown Miami, because that's where I used to live. And I met this person who was a security at night. And some reason something told me to go see him at night when he was in that shift, midnight shift. So I went to see him and I talked to him, and he told me that he was one of the kings from Atlantis. And he even showed me coins from Atlantis. And they were all gold, and he showed to me. And I said, I want you to stay here. I have to report in. So my intuition told me that I had to follow him. So I followed him and to a side street, and one of the glass of this building, excuse me, he had something in his hand, and he waved over the glass, and it turned to a big giant screen, and I saw these people talking to him, and I saw he looked back to see if I was there. And well, I didn't let him see me, but as soon as I noticed that, I just went back to where I last saw him standing, and he told me to stay. He came back and he said that, did you see, I felt that you were around the corner and you saw what I was doing. He says, yes, I'm sorry I had to do that. He says, it's okay for you to see what you saw. And I was talking to my people in that dimension. And that's what he said. Go ahead. I'm finished with
that. Okay. Colleen, you've been silent. I know I keep overriding you here. What would you like to ask or add or?
Okay, well, one, if Max, if you can turn off your Skype sounds.
Which one?
Okay, if you go up to Tools, Options,
Okay.
Sounds.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta wear my glasses. I can't see a darn thing.
I understand that one perfectly.
Just hit the microphone.
Oh, wait a minute. I can take care of that problem.
No, it's not the mic, it's the sounds. You know, like, because when I put a question up in there, it goes bleep.
Okay, I'm in sounds.
Okay, and then over to the right side, the top button says enable or disable all sounds.
Oh, let's see.
You want to disable those sounds.
I don't see that.
Okay, let's see. Under sounds, at the top.
Okay. I see. Okay, sounds. Okay.
Yeah.
And it says where?
Over to the right of all those different sounds in that box. You can either disable or enable them. And we want you to disable those.
I said mute all sounds.
That'll work.
Okay, got it.
And then save at the bottom.
Okay. Got it.
Cool. Okay, now we do have some questions. One is from Time Is Now, and that's that's for Alex. He said he worked with frequencies, and Time wanted to know what frequency he uses.
There's many of them.
Well, come over here and say something.
There's actually many frequencies, and if you were to use the frequencies alone, it wouldn't work because it requires the symbol to be present on your screen when you watch it.
Okay, what's that?
You know what? I don't know. I have to look at my video logs because I don't really keep. I channel the frequencies, and so they just come to me naturally. And different videos have different frequencies, and I have to go into my software to see what frequencies I used precisely for that video.
Okay.
But one of them I use is the Schumann frequency, the 7.83 hertz. I use that sometimes.
Okay.
And the one that balances the water and also the oxygen is 1831 megahertz. It's the one that cleanses the oxygen on the earth. And I do have that in what do you call those?
Twin generator?
And I have a tone generator here. It gives me all that. Can I share this?
I don't know. It's my friend's symbol, that's why.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
What this symbol do?
It's his product that he sells.
Huh?
But he has it hidden in wood. But
what does it actually do?
Clear.
Clears
Yeah.
energy?
Yeah, you can show it to only a certain people.
I'm just going to show it to the panel here.
Okay.
All right, you ladies ready?
Sure.
All right, hold on a second. Here, I'm going to show it to you right now. Here.
Just keep it among you guys, though.
Just among us. You can take a picture if you want.
Okay.
You got it?
And that is peace, you said? What was it the symbol of?
A frequency that clears.
It's an energy that helps clear.
It clears what?
It clears many things.
It clears many things.
Yeah.
Nothing in specific. It just clears.
Oh, you put a crystal on top of it. You can put a crystal on top of it. It'll help clear the crystal.
Okay. This is kind of classified. That's why I'm only showing you ladies here. Okay. All right. I want to show you this one. This is very special. Have you ever seen this before? Have you ladies ever seen this?
Is it quartz or is it crystal?
It's a quartz. It's a Vogel. It's a Vogel heating crystal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Yeah, this was given to me by a person that used to know Mr. Vogel. And this is about 5 inches long, but this one cost $2,500. It was a gift to me. It does much healing.
Well, you're waving it around and I'm getting nauseous.
Oh, really?
Manipulating the energies with
Ladies and gentlemen, he's got a piece of quartz in his hand that has got a severe point to it, almost like it's not a natural point. It's so long and tapered, and the back of it is faceted in a number of angles. So it's very, very powerful and very clear. It's extremely clear.
Gorgeous, almost diamond-like.
Yeah.
How about this? What did this one do to you?
If you feel something, that means
that's an amethyst.
That's the amethyst. I'm familiar with those.
Okay, this is another Vogel. But the other one's pretty strong, huh? I got it covered up. Does it still feel it?
Yeah. Well, yes, actually. You want to show and tell, man? I'd pull some of these gadgets out of here that are so powerful that, you know, if I pointed at you'd feel it right through the screen. I mean, it's.
Yeah, but this isn't fair to our listeners.
It's not fair. That's exactly what I'm saying, but it's not fair to our listeners because the fact of the matter is that it comes down to the same concept we've been talking about. It's an energy universe. And when we see the schematic, the symbol that was shown to us by Captain Max here, that we're picking up energies at a level that we can't, even our minds are not programmed, our lower 3D anal retentive minds are not programmed to understand, but our higher self-consciousness is. And so when we see these symbols, things are happening to us that we don't even at the 3D have as Max has said a lot of times, I don't have the words. Well, not only do we not have the words, in some cases we do not have the concept. And that's why I push for people, the only way you can get the concepts is to let your mind imagine what it is. Because once you imagine and you let your mind go, you actually will begin to be directed and very, very delicately you will begin to perceive the information that you got from a symbol that at first just looked like a picture. Is that pretty accurate, Max?
Very accurate. Very accurate, yes.
So we're having fun here, but I'm sorry you can't see these pictures. They're highly classified. But, you know, and the thing of it is that we've got all these guides and we've got all these people and entities helping us so much. And so when you see a strange symbol come in or you look at something that you've looked at many times and you see it in a different angle, pay attention. Because it's the universe manipulating itself to give you a symbol that may just be something that unlocks a memory. We're like these unbelievable server computers that are locked into so much information, but you've got to be able to put your mind in a frequency to tune into it, and there it is. Boom. Oh my God, look at that. But you've got to have the belief system that says it's possible. And once you get there, then let your mind go crazy because the matrix, everything that they are doing to us is to keep us from imagining what we really can do. And that's the key to me, is let your imagination go. We have a radio show on Tuesdays, Max, on Wolf Spirit and Haggy Shack, that we call it reality sci-fi. Because basically, you know, it's like, well, if we don't know something, we don't have anything to talk about, we'll make something up. And so many times the things that would seemingly be made up are really because we're allowing ourselves to see what's real, not what the Matrix is telling us. They don't want us to get to that point. They don't want us to unleash the imagination, and that's why they do so many of the weird things that they do, particularly with children, trying to control their ability to imagine. It's all imagining. To me, it's like a game. You know, we're learning how to be very imaginative and see what else is out there. Yeah. Comments, anybody?
It is kind of top of the hour, and I've been sitting here 3 hours now, and I need to, take a little potty break.
Totally understand. Can you stay with us, Max, or are you getting burned out?
No problem. I'll stay here.
Okay. All right. So we'll take a little break and do it that way.
All righty. I'll put on some music, and this is Into the Mystic with Van Morrison, and We'll be back in about 3.5 minutes. Okay. Let me see here. Where are we at? Time also asks, what happens at the equator where northern and southern hemispheres with opposite energies of water meet? Huh? Does anybody understand that one?
Yeah, she's saying that when water goes down the drain in the northern hemisphere, it's I don't remember if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, but in this hemisphere it's the opposite. And she's wondering, and I thought that was a good question. What happens at the equator? Which way does the water go down the drain? That's what I think she's asking. I don't know. Max,
I don't
do you
know
know
either.
That is a good question.
I don't know.
Where does the water go?
Does it rotate counterclockwise or does it rotate clockwise at the equator? Because either side of it, in the north and south, I've never thought about this before, but it's really kind of intriguing.
There's no rotation on it, is what Alex is telling me.
Yeah, there's no rotation on the equator.
There's no rotation in the equator.
Wow. Thank you, Alex.
It's just flat. You're welcome. It's flat down.
Well, explain it. Come over here and explain it.
Well, there was a documentary on the YouTube showing that they were on the equator and they had a portable drain, and they poured water into the drain on the equator, and they poured it north of the equator and south of the equator. But when it was on the equator, it didn't spin. So when they moved the water, when they drained the water on the north side, I forgot what it spun, but it spun the opposite of the other side. So that's what was pretty interesting on the equator, I found out.
Well, you know, the Earth turns counterclockwise. I don't know if anybody knows that. You know that, Colleen?
No.
Or
I'm
Nancy?
not the scientific brain.
You know, for all my talking of clockwise and counterclockwise, I never actually thought about which way the Earth turns. That's interesting, Max. I think you're right.
When I was in Area 51 in the early 70s, when I was not driving tractor trailer anymore and only staying in S4 and open a spacecraft that they want me to open, I was able to fly it. And they said, well, you think you can fly it? I said, well, if I can open it, I can sure fly it. And so what they did is the commander of the Area 51, he says, well, let's take it out in space. And so him and another scientist was with me. And, well, we must be sitting down when we do this. And he says, how are we going to sit down? There's no chairs. He says, wait a moment. I will release the chairs, from the floor. And all of a sudden 3 chairs appear. And I actually you're not actually sitting down. You're actually kind of laying down in a 45-degree angle. So we all sat in a chair, and I was in the middle, and I had the doors open. The commander said because if you talk on the inside, they can hear you on the outside. I told them that go ahead and tell them to open the doors. And, so the doors were open and I eased out the ship through the, ceiling roof and I pulled outside, the crap and, I told them to hang on because I'm going to take off and took it right outside. They were filming everything on the outside and I took it straight up. It took us about 3 seconds to get into, orbit and, I flew the craft around the earth, all the way around the earth. And then I took them to the moon and we went through the back side of the moon. Always wanted to do that. Saw a lot of stuff on the back side of the moon. And, then went around the other side of the moon and, I took it out, about approximately, probably about, maybe 1 light years outside. And then, he said, that's enough, take us back. So, I took the craft back to, S4 and the trip was probably about 35 to 40 minutes and took the craft back down and landed it and put it back in S4 and base 7 and, landed and, I told him to lean forward a little bit and so I can make the chairs disappear into the floor, which I did. And I got up and they all looked at me, how in the heck did you just do all that? And I said, because I'm also, I can do many things. I almost answered a question that could have got me in trouble. So I just can do many things. And, I opened the center of the doorway where they could get out and I opened the craft so they'll come completely out of the craft. I stayed in there about a couple minutes. I told the commander I had to stay a couple minutes to readjust a few of the information data, the database of the information center. And finally I came out and I told the ship to close the doors and that's what I did. And there were several. Do you think you can open other craft? I said, of course, I can open just about any craft. And, because they figure out that I could, because one day I was walking in front of, Bay 5 in, Bay 5. I got this telepathic information from another ship that was in there. And, there were scientists in that bay. And they figure out that the ship was communicating with somebody outside. And, I was actually standing in front of Bay 5 door. And, one scientist opened the door and saw me standing there. He says, I need to talk to you later. This is not a problem. And so, about an hour later, I was in the, cafeteria eating my dinner. And this scientist come out and sat with me. He says, that ship, I felt that ship was communicating with you. Why is that? He says, I don't know what you're talking about. I had to deny everything. I didn't want them to know that the ship was communicating with them. But they had an idea that that's what's going on. So, that was it for that.
Well, I'm sure that people are kind of confused about this concept of communicating with the ships. Are they somehow or another a combination of biological? Are they biological? Is it like almost like making androids, but they're ships because they do have a sentience and the ability to learn from their experiences, and also that, I mean, because the Roswell craft seems very, it appears to be true that it was the interface of the beings that were on them with the ship that allowed for the ship to be navigated and piloted and everything else. That it's a frequency with the ship. So can you just expand a little bit on what you understand the basic difference between what we would think of as a mechanical ship and what you're talking about now?
Yeah, some of the ships I was involved with were organic. They had their own minds of their own, and even if they even got damage in any type, they were able to fix itself. It had its own intelligence. It wasn't mechanical intelligence. It was mostly organic intelligence in it. And they're able to think for themselves just like we can think for our own ways as a human. There were some mechanicals that I saw there. For example, the one that you're talking about, Roswell, I saw that craft. It wasn't an Area 51 or S4. That craft was in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base underground. They've been studied for a long time, and they've actually built one just like it. That one was not organic. That was more like mechanical, and it was all metal. That metal's not found on Earth. It was more like a memory metal that it's able to fix itself if it's. But this one had about 8 feet of missing parts on the side of the wall, on the top of the wall, and also the side where it makes the edge of the saucer, and also the bottom was missing. And that was caused from the crash, because in Roswell there was actually 2 craft that crashed in Roswell. It was 2 of them, not 1. Do you know about that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Those crafts were mechanical. They weren't like the one that I was around in S4 Base 7. There are so many crafts out there that has its own intelligence, and sometimes we just don't comprehend what that is, because when you touch it, you know how you touch sometimes, you know what you're touching, what kind of metal it is. Not this one. You just there are different ships that you touch, and you're trying to break your mind and figure out what it is, and you can't. It's a different type of metal. It's weightless. It does change its own shapes. The shapes, that craft that crashed in Roswell was able, even though it was metal, it was able to shape shift into another shape when it's traveling at hyperspace. It's a different type of craft. It's pointed at the front and more round off at the very back part. It's able to travel very fast and very quickly in a very short time. For example, the Pleiadian ships, they're called beam ships. These ships are able to travel from Earth to the Pleiades in 7 hours. Earth, 7 hours. It would travel 3.5 hours at their top speed, and at the second 3.5 hours, it would turn into hyperspace, where the disk would turn into another shape, and it will be able to travel even 10 times faster than what it's going. It's 500 light years away, and now it's closer than 500 light years. But back then, when this was going on in the late 70s, that these Pleiadian ships, which I've seen many of them, been on the inside of at least 2 of them, have been able to open one of them and got in. I flew it twice. not for this government, for another government. And I was able to do many things. And I can say that I've been probably in at least as many as 28 types of crafts from different universes that I have actually been in, opened them, and have flown them. And that's about it for now.
Well, I have a question about the Pleiades because I have let's say a feeling or an intuition that in fact the sun, the solar system that we're in, is actually the farthest out of the Pleiades star system. Any comments?
Why don't you repeat? Can you repeat that one more time?
Okay. I think that the reason that we have so much connection to the Pleiadians as we see them is because, in fact, the solar system upon which we are involved is the farthest star of the Pleiadian system. If you were to get into a different perspective, you wouldn't see the seven sisters, you'd see the eight. We being the eighth.
Yes, I do agree with that. I noticed that every 10 people that I talk to, that they're either connected to the Pleiadians, the seven sisters, and a lot of them are coming forward and saying they're Pleiadians. My people are actually Pleiadian from the future.
Because but you can't get there unless we make a leap in this 3D.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in order to guarantee it, you've been sent from the future. So because my understanding from way back, steer kind of wrong, is that everything is so connected to everything that the Pleiadians cannot go from a fifth to the sixth unless the 3D goes from the 3D to the fifth. That you have to work with the energies. You can't just make energy, well you can, but in regards to the universal law, you can't just make more energy up to boost this next, enlightenment of the Pleiades without the 3D taking that vacuum space. It's a 0 point concept again.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something here, but
I have another question for you. This is from Puppy Snow. Oh, Puppies Now. How much of all we are experiencing these days was also experienced in Atlantis' last days? What is the difference? That's loaded.
What is the difference between
what's happening now and what happened in the last days of Atlantis? Because I suspect that she's thinking along the terms of the fact that Edgar Cayce said that a lot of us that are here incarnated now are trying to right the wrongs of the time of Atlantis. I'm guessing here, but that would be my guess. And what's the difference? What do we learn differently? You may not know. That's another question. You said that you came in as a walk-in in 58, but your ship only got here 3 months ago?
No. Let me explain that part. I'm sorry, my dog, she sees things in the room all the time. I'm sorry for the interruption. Baby, come here. It's okay. My ship came here about 3 to 4 months ago. It arrived here. And it's got to do with my getting here in 1958. It came in a different time. In 2015 when it arrived here. It came here to protect me, and it came here to so I can use the ship to do many things here for the planet Earth, to help and save the planet. And that's one of the reasons they came, because I asked for them to show up, and they did. Like sometimes I leave for about 4 hours in this body, and sometimes the true spirit and soul that belongs to this body takes over this one while I leave into my own body up there. And I do take my body and I do come back down to Earth in my dimension, and then I go into the past of the present time of 2016, and I do things for the planet into the future. I'm talking probably about 3 or 4 or 5 months ahead of this one, and do different things for the planet. And then I go back and take my Earth body, come back down into this time here. So I know it's not going to answer the question, but you did ask me about if the ship arrived 3 months ago. It did, but it came here for a purpose, for something that I need for the ship to be here to help me do things here.
Well, I have to tell you that when you said that on the first show you had with Dolly, it jarred me, because I had just been on Facebook, and for some reason Facebook, instead of opening up to a page that I had opened, it opened up to the news feed. And the first thing that I saw, well, the only thing I saw was a posting on Starfire Tours Facebook, which it's a group that I belong to. Now, Starfire years ago developed this ability, mathematical, she goes out as a scientist, to determine that when the sun does this, then this is what happens on Earth, and primarily in timeline changes. And I've been following her for a long time. I haven't been recently, but she was so accurate in saying, it just did a coronal flare, and so now it's going to create a timeline shift. And every time she would project this, and she would, say it days before sometimes, that this was going to happen, you would see changes in the timeline. So when I see this thing posted, first off, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe coincidence is thought in action. And I'm going like, this is really interesting, because she had just posted a statement saying that there was a massive coronal ejection, and that she hadn't had time to do the math, and that she would get back to us. And somebody posted a comment and said, "Did something happen Wednesday?" And she said, "Why? What do you think happened?" And he proceeded to explain a lot of things. And she said, "Well, then you just you answered your own question." And so then you come on and you say that the Earth was put inside the protective force field of your ship in order to be protected by a CMF. And I'm going like, whoa, maybe this dude is real, because I doubt that you know who Starfire Tour is. And yet it corresponded exactly to the time frame where this guy's saying, what happened on Wednesday? And he might have been somehow aware that this was happening, even though he couldn't in the 3D perceive it, because it was an etheric / 3D event. So yes. I have to say that from that standpoint alone, you did get my attention. That, wow. Because again, I believe that thought is, the coincidence is the universe way of saying, pay attention. Pay attention. So, and as far as the concept of, it's so hard to explain that, but the concept of, we're in your protection, but we're in a force field protection. We're not, I know you said that it was inside your ship. It's inside your energy field of the ship. So we're still seeing outside of that. Exactly. It's not like there's walls there, or even if you are cloaked, of course you're cloaked because we can't see you, but that it's just a protective energy shield against the energy force of the sun that would have, in fact, I believe, destroyed the Earth. So yes. I thank your people. I don't like any of you guys messing with this Earth. I think Gaia can do it herself, but sometimes Gaia will call out and say, I need help. And to me, the dark side, the people behind it, the cabal, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, they all bet against this consciousness called Gaia. And so, I mean, I could give you so many examples of what I'm seeing when I was listening to you talking about different things like, the pollution in the Pacific from the radiation from Japan, different things, the oxygen question, the question of oxygen. And I can tell you that as you were saying them, I'm going like, yep, we did that, yep, we did that, yep, we did that. On a 3D human scale, long before you said anything about it, my partner Walt and I on our radio station were doing things exactly like you said. And like the oxygen thing, we developed an energy device that throws out a tremendous amount of oxygen. We were physically putting it in Long Island Sound, in the Pacific, off the coast of Africa. And again, you wouldn't have known that we had gone through this, this experiment and experience and event to try to use our minds to create a solution that would effectively work under the laws of the universe and energy as we knew it. And you came along and you said, well, we did this and we did this and we did this and we did it in this 3 months, and it was the same 3 months. It's almost like we have a story. There's always got to be a story associated with anything, any event. And it's almost like we've got one story, but you've got the bigger story. Where did we get the information that we needed to do this at the 3D? Maybe it was from you. Maybe it was from your ship. Maybe it was from your people. Because we know we're being guided. That we're being telepathically given information that then we make real. So it's fabulous. I mean, the fundamental real tragedy of life is when you limit the universe. You underestimate how complex and how beautiful and how simplistic it can be at the same time.
Exactly. To answer the last question, while you were spot, we have been sending signals to certain groups. Yes, we were the ones to send that information to your group.
It's just fascinating to me. Yeah.
It is. We are here to help, and if the other light beings are taking too long to take things into their hands and matter, if they don't do it soon, we will do it. Because Earth is suffering enough. There's too much violence on the surface that needs to be stopped, and too much of everything going on down there that needs to be stopped. We've been trying to ask the higher consciousness that they're involved with the universal laws here on this planet Earth, and they need to move forward and go ahead and neutralize all the smaller missiles that are being used in aircraft to damage other countries when they're really not involved in anything. And all they want to do is control everyone on this planet, and we're not going to allow that. And if the higher consciousness of this planet and creates the universal laws, if they don't move forward very soon, we will take control of this planet, and we will definitely remove all the violence and everything in one shot, and bring all the people that have been doing all kinds of harm and violence to this planet. We will make sure that they pay with in their prisons and be picked up as criminals and do with the law. But we're going to need for that to happen. We need to contact the international laws of this planet, which there is a court of that, and we'll have to come down and talk to them. And I know it's going to be a little. It would be very for them not. They'll probably freak out about us, but we will start to come down little by little. So you'll start to see the way we look, the way that we are, because we're a being of love, and we do not like violence. I have been in many violence here as a warrior on your planet that I had to go through. I wanted to find out what made violence create violence between humans and others and how they killed each other. And I just needed to find out everything. So I put myself as what you call here on Earth a guinea pig and process all that violence in this body that I'm using. And also as a soldier, as a special forces soldier, as a super soldier and elite super special forces, I had to learn all that. And now I understand why.
Well, with all due respect, as a representative of the human race and somebody that considers themselves completely subservient to Gaia, I request that your people do not interfere in the one thing that we are attempting to do that, in my opinion, has not been completely tried before, and the thing that I think must be done, and that is nobody pays for being stupid. These people were manipulated. The vast majority of them, in the human forms, the souls, were being manipulated. They're not evil by nature. Humanity is not evil by nature. It was manipulated to be evil. Now, what happens to the entities that you say were created by another God that in fact is not a nice God? Those people you can deal with all you want. But as far as dealing with repercussions against people who were just living, they were experiencing a life of evil, of manipulation, of sociopathic and pathological kind of concepts. Those people are ours to deal with, humanity's to deal with. And I'm not going to punish them for having stood up and basically as souls to experience something that we all needed to see and needed to perceive, because it's not anybody from the outside that's doing it, it's us. And we have got to take the responsibility for it. It is us. We have got to change humanity in a very basic way. And so I thank you for assisting us in so many ways. But as far as retribution against human beings, human souls who were experiencing life, let us deal with them. Let us get to a resonant energy form so powerful that they will just be sucked into it. They'll just all of a sudden switch. We don't have to punish them. All we have to do is get their energy levels up to the new reality. And the new reality is there. The new reality is vibrant. The new reality is where they want to be. And what I noticed, about maybe a year ago, is that when we got the new reality solid, we started seeing, people were telling me, I'm seeing Stepford wives. I'm seeing people that seem to be holding a space. And I said, yeah, that's the space being held for all of those other people out there who are going to change their frequency in the old reality and then just be here. Because you always have to have a story. And because one of the reasons that I agreed to this mission is the fact that we could save them all. So thank you.
I want to, then, so be it. We will not interfere anymore. The ship is pulling away from the Earth is being put into space by itself right now. The ship is pulling away from the Earth, and we won't intervene anymore. We'll back off. The ship is moving backwards.
Unless Gaia supersedes me. If she sees a danger that I don't, all I'm concerned about is that we as human beings are not using revenge, not using, feeling like we've got to hurt somebody. Because that's where we get into the problems of it. We have to be able to be free to hold on to our own and say, it's okay. Yes, you were making mistakes. Yes, you were doing evil acts. But it's okay. Because as a species, we can live and forgive and understand that we're we all matter. And if we just start zapping people and taking them out, you're taking the energies that makes us all whole. We've got to deal with each and every strand.
We don't zap people or hurt any people. We don't believe in that.
No, I'm just saying theoretically.
Okay. As of 15 seconds ago, the ship has removed completely from Earth. Earth is by itself now, but we will continue to monitor Earth from a very close distance in case it needs our help, and we will come back again. But for now, we're backing off because you asked, and it's up to Mother Gaia. If she wants us to come back, we will come back. But for now... Thank you so very much, because she told me months ago, she said we need space. We need the ability for us to, as human beings, because it's not just the humans that are here in this 3D reality on Earth. It's the breakaway civilization, the space trek civilization that's out there, that so few humans really understand is right there. And those people are broken from us too. So we have to understand, we have to come together in the breakaway civilization with humanity that is here to be whole again. And when humanity becomes whole again, we are going to be in an entirely new universe, because, yes, they have mucked with our DNA. They have changed our DNA. They have put their signatures, all sorts of extraterrestrials. They put their signatures in the human being. But we're carrying the soul signature of many soul civilizations. It's sort of like there's the Indonesians, the royal families were continually fighting, so they decided the only way they could stop fighting was if they intermarried, until they had one person who had everybody else's blood in them, and then they would be the focal point for leadership, because it's all family. And that's what she said to me. She said, we need space. We need everybody to back off. Now, you weren't here when this happened. Okay? Your ship only got here 3 months ago. This happened a year ago. So what I'm so grateful to understand, yes, we need protection. I understand there is tremendous amount of entities, confusion out there, but we as a people, we need to come together, forgive all of the things that we've done to each other, and find the true essence of love. So I am highly grateful to your people. Okay, my people are asking me to tell you that we need to put a very strong shield around the planet Earth, so there will be no interfere from any sources from the outside to come and hurt the people of Earth. If you give us that permission, we'll continue with that.
I will humbly give you permission in the name of Gaia.
Okay. In about 32 seconds, Earth seconds, a shield will be put completely around the Earth. And it will be complete in about 20 seconds now. Everybody on the planet will feel it. We got about 10 seconds left. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, 0 seconds. Acknowledge.
I acknowledge and thank you.
It's been put around the Earth. We are going to back off. In fact, while you were talking, the craft that was, whether it was over Earth, has already left. And the new ship that arrived today, actually yesterday, it's here. What we did is that the ship that was around the planet Earth has entered the big one and has gone through it from one end to the other. It's now left. It's now left this universe. It's heading for the third universe, and 4th, and 5th. It's on a mission to save 3 planets that are going out of orbit, and our ship is on the way there to help. And the ship that was just here is 25 miles wide. This one is actually 55,000 miles wide, much bigger. And that's my new ship that's going to be out there. And if you ever need us, or if we see, we have to have your permission now, since Gaia asked for it. If you're getting hit by solar flares that we see that will be danger to the planet, let us allow to put the planet back in our ship and protect your Earth from being destroyed.
Absolutely. She is so grateful because, again, we understand the criticality of what is occurring. And it's basically the storyline. Yes, we absolutely need every Galactic Federation ship, every Archangel, every ET that is here to help us. We need you to help us, but you also need to give us the space to come together. And once we can do that, and we're so grateful because, I only know what I know. And yes, I've taken a massive, saying, well, but we agreed to this a while back, that we could not keep talking about the Dracons and all these others. We had to stand up and say, good or bad, win or lose, humanity will stand up and take responsibility for it. So it was something that we did as a group, as individuals, and to be given this weird opportunity to be able to communicate directly to your people that this is what we as a collective have decided we need to do. And to have you understand me the way you did, I so appreciate it. But more importantly, Gaia is very, very grateful and in love with you. Thank you.
Thank you. We will be here for a very long time until the ascension and all the dark forces are gone from the planet and peace and love is restored on this planet. We will be around. We're not going anywhere, and we will here to protect you and the as highest love that there is in our world. We bow to you and hope to in the future we can work together, which we are working together now. But if you need us again, just call upon us. All you have to do, Nancy, is tell us. We already have your body frequency, and as soon as you want us to come back, you just say we'll come back right away.
Well, like I say, I suspect that your people have been giving us, yours and others. I mean, we work with different, God only knows how many Gaia helpers she has. I really don't know. But I know that every time I turn around, I'm very sure that we are being absolutely guided in all the work we're doing. And I only see good things happening for the whole universe, but especially for the planet. And would you make me another kind of like promise that when we get through this little, wrapping up kind of thing we're doing, that we have a hell of a party?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I so appreciate you, your people. I mean, I'm sure that's why I say it's our people. We're all family.
That's right.
It's and she is a honey. We wouldn't do it without her.
One day I have to meet her. Contact me on CAPT Max Theo on Skype if you like.
Okay. Cheers, Colleen.
Alrighty. But thank you all. Great show. And we'll see y'all later.
Thanks, guys. Be safe. Good night.